Gopijana Vallabha Girivardhari. Hey Gopijana Vallabha Girivardhari. Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana. Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana. Oh Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana. Jamuna Tira Vanachari. Jamuna Tira Vanachari. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. O Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Gopijana Vallabha Girivardhari. Hey Gopijana Vallabha Girivardhari. O Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana. O Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana. Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana. Hey Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana. Jamuna Tira Vanachari. Jamuna Tira Vanachari. Jai Radha Madhava Radha Madhava Radhe. Jai Radha Kala Chanji Radha Kala Chanji Radhe. Jai Radha Govinda Radha Govinda Radhe. Jai Radha Shama Sundar Radha Shama Sundar Radhe. Jaya Radha Rasbi Hari Radha Rasbi Hari Radhe. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Radhava Madhav Radhe. Jaya Radha Madhava Radha Madhava Radhe. Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So welcome everybody. Thank you for your association and coming to Radhakalachandji Dham, Radhakalachandji's Mandir. So anybody here last week? I recognize you and you. You're here. Do you remember, I gave the talk last week. What was my theme? Just if it, any memory. I remember, but it's easy. I spoke it. So last week I spoke how Krishna consciousness is a festival, right? And that we are meant to turn our heart into a festive place for Krishna's celebration. So we'll carry on the theme because that was the build-up. It was, I guess, a little before Lord Balaram's appearance day, which was just Thursday. And so now the same, just in a few days on Friday will be Krishna Janmashtami, the appearance of Krishna. And then there will be appearance of Radharani. Well, even before, the day after Janmashtami will be the appearance of our founder Acharya, His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki. So every day is a festival, right? Every day is an opportunity for us to bring our spirits up and help everybody around us be joyful. And the essence of pleasure is connecting devotionally to the supreme source of all pleasure, all bliss, all festive experiences, all happiness for the senses, Rishikesh, Krishna, Rasaraj, the source of all loving reciprocations, Radhakalachandji. So we'll speak a little on Krishna's appearance and the mood, and carry on the festival mood. So in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, wherever and whenever there's a decline in religious principles, I descend myself in order to reestablish Dharma, in order to reestablish spiritual codes, in order to revive basically the original spiritual consciousness of all of His devotees, all of us. Every living entity is an eternal servant, eternal loving friend of the Supreme Whole. Mame vamsha jiva loke jiva bhuta sanatana manashashtan indriyani prakritishtani karshati. That Krishna is saying that all living entities are my amshas, are my parts and parcels. So what does it mean to be part of something so amazing? It means that intrinsically and inherently we are qualitatively one with the whole, with Krishna, the reservoir of all pleasure. Every little endeavor that we're making is to try to find pleasure. When we came to the temple, when we walk out the door, whether we decide to turn left or right, we're always calculating, okay, will this bring me satisfaction, fulfillment, happiness? Each according to our different psychophysical natures, according to our different karmic circumstances, we're just thinking, okay, how should I maneuver? What should I think of? So the sages of all wisdom cultures, the revealers of the truth, have said that what is in our best interest, what is our real wealth, is loving devotional service. Bhaktyamama vijananti yavanyaschasmi tatvataha tato mam tatvato gyatva vishate tad anantaram. That Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita that one can know me as I am, as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, only by devotional service. And that when one is fully absorbed in such service, one can revive or reawaken our original spiritual consciousness, or one could enter into the spiritual world. And that is within our own heart, because Krishna also says, Ishvara sarvabhutanam hrideshe arjuna tishtati, that I am situated in the heart of every living entity. So in one sense, we're trying to get to heaven, or get to enlightenment, or reach higher states of consciousness. And in another sense, it's already within us, that the source of all material and spiritual worlds, the source of all pleasure that we're looking for, is in the heart of all of us. It was just like one time, my sister had a baby, and I was holding that little baby on my chest, and the baby was sleeping. And then, when you're holding a baby, you kind of like you're melted, right? Your finer sentiments of a human being, kindness, gentleness, compassion, they come to the surface more than when we're just like making our rat race maneuvers and how to survive in material existence. But the motherly, let's say, emotions come forth, whether you're a man or woman, those tenderness, kindness, these things come about. So I was thinking, wow, imagine this state of mind that I have right now when I'm holding my little niece. If I had those soft, gentle, loving, it was a sweet experience, right? So then I was thinking, imagine if I had that realization of the Shastras that says that Krishna is in the heart of every living entity. That's closer. On the chest, that's one thing. There's some skin to skin. But in the heart, that's intimate. That's close. It's said that, that the living entity, who we are as a spiritual conscious being, is situated within the heart. And that Krishna is right there next to us through all phases of our rebellion. If we're in the material world to different degrees, we're forgetting our intimate, loving relationship with Krishna. But Krishna accompanies us as Paramatma, as a loving friend and guide, and is always there, waiting for us. Any tinge of spiritual inkling, and Krishna's ready to fan it. Krishna gives us the idea, oh, talk to this person. Oh, read this book. Oh, go to this temple. Oh, endeavor for spiritual upliftment. So that's what Krishna Janmashtami is, right? It can happen. It's also astrologically on Friday at midnight, 5,000 or so or more years ago. That's there. That's, calculated. But then also, according to our state of devotional consciousness, Krishna can appear and reveal himself accordingly. Krishna also says in Bhagavad Gita that as those surrender unto me, I reward them accordingly, and everyone follows my path in all respects. So Krishna is a playful, loving youth, right? Like sometimes they think, oh, God is all-knowing, all-powerful, so he must be old to have so much wisdom and so much ability. But according to the Vedas, Krishna's eternally 16. Even they say how many months, how many days. He is eternally at a certain youthful expression of life. So he's ready to reciprocate according to how much we want him. Krishna is ready to give himself to us. So it's like in our court, like when you're dancing, right? Sometimes it's you're dancing with friends and they do something that inspires you and then you do something. So now it's Krishna's wanting us in that playful spirit to want him. And that's what Janmashtami is meant to do, is to reawaken that desire and intensify that desire to have Krishna be born or appear in our minds, in our hearts, in our lives. And therefore, on Janmashtami, we celebrate and dedicate, a lot of us will take off work, and we dedicate all of our actions. Some of us, if you're able to, will have morning Mangalartik at 4:30 for the pleasure of Krishna, Radha Kalachandji. And being parts and parcels, you will also enjoy singing and dancing at 4:30. And then it'll go on throughout the day. We'll have, in the park here, we'll have celebrations and booths for remembering Krishna's mercy through Prabhupada's activities in this world, and then there'll be prasadam. Some people fast until midnight, so that's there. But now is like the build-up. We have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, to build up our excitement. And then that's what life is also. It's a build-up to the final celebration. If you're spiritually minded, then death is also a celebration. Sometimes they say the Mahotsava, that means a festival, but we celebrate the same. We do or observe. Sometimes they say when people pass away, we're observing that ceremony instead of celebrating. But when you're enlivened spiritually, we know that the soul never dies, and that according to one's state of mind at the time of death, that state they will attain in their next birth. So for those that have dedicated their lives to reestablishing, to reawakening their dormant Krishna consciousness, then it's also a joyous thing. Sometimes it gets intricate, spiritual emotions. You could be crying out of separation, but feeling blissful, right? Happy tears in separation and in celebration of that soul, whoever it may be that passed away. And then for ourselves also, for most people, that's the scariest, most fearful thing is death, because they're unsure what will happen. Is it the end? Well, but the more we're practiced in realizing our spiritual essence, that we're eternal, full of knowledge and full of bliss, then the whole death experience is different. It's explained sometimes that just like a cat, mother cat holds the baby kitten in its mouth, and then the mother cat may hold a rat in its mouth. So on one level it looks the same, but it's totally different. One, for the rat, it's devastation. For the kitten, it's protection. And so similarly, for the spiritually conscious person, death itself is like a protection, is an upliftment, is a nourishing, comforting even experience for the one leaving an advanced spiritual consciousness and those around, the family members that can perceive the consciousness of the person, if they're fortunate. So not to go off on that tangent, but we're celebrating the birth of Lord Krishna. And in one sense, there is no birth because Krishna is eternal. So it's up to us, what we want to experience on a daily basis. And Krishna consciousness and the gift of Srila Prabhupada has given us such a deep, a rich philosophy and society, right? Everybody wants to be in community, right? Where there's people of like-minded disposition that they could bounce inspiration off of. But a lot of times we see in the material circles, the material societies, there's so much discord and whatnot, and it's disheartening. But Prabhupada has given us this society of Krishna consciousness to inspire each other, to go deep into our hearts and find Krishna. And Krishna's sometimes playing hide and go seek. We may look and he may keep himself hidden so that we intensify our desire for seeing him. And that's what Krishna does. Just like we're meant, our natural consciousness is to be Krishna conscious. So Krishna's consciousness is to be bhakta conscious. He's always meditating on his devotees. Just like, sometimes in spiritual circles we may sit down, close our eyes, and try to, just focus. And the bhakta, the devotee, the spiritual soul, what are they trying to focus on is Krishna's lotus feet. Anything connected with Krishna, right? There's different auspicious symbols on Krishna's lotus feet. And you try to remember, with the flag, the thunderbolt, the fish, all these different symbols that are on Krishna's lotus feet. Or remember what Krishna's wearing on the altar, or you remember Krishna's names, right? Specifically, we're meant to focus on Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So in this age, in Kali Yuga, the main meditation, the main yajna is Harinam Sankirtan, the congregational chanting of the holy names. And from name, comes Rupa, Nama, Rupa, the form. And it can meditate on Krishna's beautiful form, that it's bent in 3 places, that he's always in a dancing posture, he's always holding his flute to his lotus lips, that his eyes are like lotuses, his smiling face, everything about his form is auspicious. And it's the natural attraction or energy of the soul to want to think of the beloved's beauty. So Rupa, then from Rupa, we'll think of Krishna's guna, Krishna's qualities, Krishna's what's one I want to think of? Krishna's not gracious, but in the Nectar of Devotion, there's one whole chapter. It says the qualities of Krishna, and the one I'm trying to think of is slipping my mind the name of it. But how Krishna reciprocates, he's grateful. It's one quality that if anybody approaches Krishna, it's like he says in Bhagavad Gita that if one offers me with love and devotion, a leaf, a flower, fruit, or water, I'll accept it. So if one approaches Krishna and just offers some water or a leaf, these things are his energies anyways, but then he's giving the secret, how he's conquered and overwhelmed by pure loving devotion, is that if one offers something, a gesture, it's similar to like when a child, at a certain stage, it's called anamoy, right? Everything goes in the mouth. food, pebbles, toys. It's just whatever, that's what level they're at. Whatever it is, they put it in their mouth. So that's the self-centered consciousness. Then they expand a little bit. Oh, this nourishes me. Let me give. So the mother or the father makes some food prep for the child, and the child gives back to the parent. And then the parent feels, touched that this relationship is going somewhere, is getting deeper. So Krishna is also revealing this stems from me. Everything stems from Krishna's desires to reciprocate love with all of his expansions. And that's why we also, being one in quality, we have the same mentality in trying to find satisfaction through relationships. So when we as souls go back, oh, my Father, my source, Krishna, my friend, my lover, let me give back. And then even if it's a tiny thing, the gesture is what captivates the heart. Just like my mentor, my guru, he said that it was Mother's Day, and he didn't get anything for his mother, and he went in and saw it was Mother's Day. He ran out, cut the rose from her garden. She planted the rose herself and then gave her that rose, and she was so touched. So any gesture of kindness, of love, it conquers the supreme source of all material and spiritual cosmic creation. All universes emanate from him with one breath, and in another breath, everything is annihilated, right? That source of all unlimited power is giving the secret that pure, loving, devotional offerings are what conquers his heart, right? So that's a quality. So we were talking about nama, rupa, guna, and then lila. If we're so fortunate that we can always read Krishna book, that's there too. But if we're so fortunate that after some time of practicing sadhana, of chanting and doing devotional service, that the leelas of the Lord, then they'll naturally come to our mind by the grace of Krishna, that he'll give his remembrance. So this is the whole package of what Krishna is trying to inundate our mind with, the festival of his attraction, of his attractive qualities, his blissful pastimes, his holy names. And in the holy names, all these different attributes are present, right? Amala Harinam Amiya Vilas. That all the unlimited pastimes of the Lord are within the holy names. So this sound vibration is the source. It is non-different from the personality. So that happiness that we're looking for through all of our endeavors can be had through connecting through this vibration, because it's not just empty sound. Like sometimes, people may just utter something, right? Some emotional sound, whether it's pleasure or pain, it'll be a different sound. But in one sense, it's expressing an emotion, but it's an empty sound in one sense. But transcendental sound, Krishna has invested all of his potencies within the sound vibration of his names. And he even goes so far to say that I am more merciful in my sound vibration expansion than I am personally. Although they're non-different, you can try to figure that one out. But Krishna is saying that this vibration is the source of all pleasure, and that it's given freely to anybody who wants to try it, right? Who's stopping us, right? We could, just like John Lennon and George Harrison, at one time they heard a recording of our guru, or the founder of the Hare Krishna movement, chanting with his devotees. They made an album, and they heard it, and they were together with some instruments on a boat, and they said that they they chanted for like 20 hours straight. They were just had like a little band, a little ukulele and a banjo, some musical instruments, and they kept chanting, kept chanting. Then when they stopped, they felt like it was a void, and they just would chant it again. So yeah, there's so much to be had, so much blissful experiences to be had in the chanting of Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So we do it on beads, like Mother's having her hand even now in her bead bag. While the talk is going on, so much attraction to chanting, we're still connected, right? Sometimes even people, they're giving Bhagavad Gita, they're giving a class, their hands are on their beads too. It's like a multi-track. Okay, well, I've got to, when something, some inspiration stops, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So this is also the birth. Like, we can always celebrate Krishna's appearance in our hearts, in our minds, by thinking of him, by preparing. Just like, you want to bring a friend to your home, then you invite them over. What do? You clean the place. You make nice preps that you think they'll like. You may go out of your way to decorate it, buy some fresh flowers like that. So what are we doing with our consciousness for Janmashtami? We're making an extra endeavor. Let me make it a little more clean. What does clean mean? In Krishna consciousness, clean means to be more absorbed devotionally. And what does it mean to be more absorbed devotionally? It means to just make a little shift in, okay, most of the time I'll have to admit I'm thinking about me, my senses. What about, will this bring me happiness? Will this bring me security? Okay, I'll do this if I get something out of it, Like a tit for tat kind of keep yourself survival mode kind of. But in the devotional attitude, we shift it. Okay, what can I do extra for pleasing Krishna's senses? Sarvo parivanirmuktam tatparatvena nirmalam rishikena rishikesha sevanam bhaktiruchate. That we should give up all different misconceptions of who we think we are on the material concept of life. We think we're Indian, we think we're American, we think we're a man, we think we're a woman, we think we're a Brahmin, a Kshatriya or Vaishya. I mean, we may not, in Kali Yuga, we may not think like that. But whatever it is, we should give up these different upadis, different misconceptions, and use all of our senses in trying to please the source of the senses, Rishikesh, the master of the senses. So realizing our spiritual interdependency in loving service with Krishna's devotion and Krishna as a person and Krishna's name as a person, prepare our hearts and consciousness for the appearance. Just like I'm a father, I have 2 kids. Before they were born, my wife and I, okay, should we live in this place? Should we have, this state? Oh, we'll move to a different state. There's a better community over here. We should have this kind of lifestyle to set up everything for them. So similarly for preparing, we have a few more days to go, and then we can be always preparing for making our heart a suitable place for Krishna to reside, right? By especially the chanting, it automatically cleanses the heart. Cheto darpanam arjanam bhava mahadavagni nirvapanam shreya kairava chanjika vitaranam vidya vadhu jivanam. That this Sankirtan cleanses the heart of all material dust for millions and billions of lifetimes and years. So let us all encourage each other. And please, if you can, try to come on Friday, Krishna Janmashtami. And thank you for your kind attention. Is there any comments or reflections or anything somebody would like to share? Okay, the devotee who's having the festival, is he here? So we have some announcements. There's also another Krishna Janmashtami celebration 2 weeks after? Okay, so the weekend after Krishna Janmashtami, and this devotee here, what's your good name? Rasa Shekhar Prabhu will give us information about another festival. So let the festivities eternally increase. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. First of all, let us give a big round of applause to Prabhuji for a wonderful class. Hari Bol! So as Prabhuji very nicely explained different qualities of Krishna and how we should prepare our mood for the upcoming Janmashtami festival, which is on the Tithi 19th of this month, which will be held in temple. In addition to that, we'll also have a public Janmashtami festival in North Dallas in Frisco the following weekend on Saturday, 27th of August at Collin College Conference Center, which is in Frisco area. So we'll share more details, but just wanted to make this announcement so that we can take advantage of that festival too, and you can also socialize this with your friends and acquaintances who might as well join the following week. And after this festival, we can also celebrate that festival and take the blessings of Radha Kalachandji and all the devotees, Vaishnavas, and the holy name in both the occasions. Thank you. Hare Krishna. So Prabhuji has just requested me to also announce today's Sunday Feast sponsors. So today's Sunday Feast is sponsored by Dinesh Yadavji, Tadiwada family for Ramana, Jyotsna and Nikiti Niranjana birthday. Thank you all very much, and may Sri Sri Radha Kalachandji bless all their families with Krishna consciousness, good health and prosperities. Thank you so much. Let us all give a big round of applause to all these sponsors. Hari Bol. Likewise, if any one of you would like to sponsor the Sunday feast, please contact Her Grace Padma Mataji or simply donate on the temple website, and you can find more details on the display out there. You can pay by a mode of payment of your choice, but we do have a lot of sponsorship options available for all of you to avail. Thank you. Hare Krishna. And last but not the least, today's feast is prepared by His Grace Sakshi Gopal Prabhu and his team. So thank you so much, Prabhuji and team. As usual, Abhiral Prabhu and some of the community members, they have taken care of the vegetable cut-up. And Apramaya Krishna Prabhu, Nagarjuna Prabhu and their serve-out team, they will take care of serving the prasadam. So thank you all for your wonderful, consistent, steadfast service. Let us give a big round of applause to all these volunteers as well. Hari Bol. So I believe the next part of the event is we'll have the feast, which will start being served. We'll have the Artik followed by the feast. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Cartels? Cartels?
नमः विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामी इति नामिने विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामी इति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे नमस्ते हे सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा पाश्चात्य जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद शिव जय जय गौरा चांदे आरती शोभा जय जय गौरा चांदे आरती शोभा शिव जय जय गौरा चांदे जगा मनलो वाजा नाविकातावाने जगा मनलो वा शिवा दक्षिणे नितायचा वामे गदाधारा दक्षिणे नितायचा वामे गदाधारा निकटे अद्वैता शिने दासा छत्रधाराने शिने दासा छत्रधारा किवा बसी আছে गौराचा रत्ना सिंहासने बसी याचे गौराचा रत्ना सिंहासने किवा बसी याचे गौराचा रत्ना सिंहासने बसी याचे गौराचा रत्ना सिंहासने आरती करे ना ब्रह्मा आदिदेव गाणे आरती करे ना ब्रह्मा आदिदेव गाणे आरती करे ना ब्रह्मा आदिदेव गाणे हरे ना ब्रह्मा आदिदेव गाणे नरहरी आदि करी चामारडुलाय नरहरी आदि करी चामारडुलाय संजय मुकुंद वासु घोषादिगाय संजय मुकुंद वासु घोषादिगाय शिवा शंख बाजे घंटा बाजे बाजे करताल शंख बाजे घंटा बाजे बाजे करताल मधुर मृदंग बाजे करामरसाल मधुर मृदंग बाजे करामरसाल मधुर मृदंग बाजे करामरसाल मृदंग बाजे करामरसाल शंखा बाजे घंटा बाजे मधुर 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 बाजे बाजे घंटा मधुर 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 बाजे शंखा बाजे घंटा बाजे मधुर 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 बाजे का बाजे मधुर 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 बाजे मधुर 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 बाजे मधुर मधुर बाजे मधुर 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 बाजे मधुर मधुर बाजे शंख बाजे घंटा बाजे मधुर 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 बाजे घंटा बाजे मधुर 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 बाजे निताई गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल निताई गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल निताई गौर हरि बोल निताई गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल निताई गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल निताई गौर हरि बोल हिमबाहु कोटि चंद्रानिने वदन उज्ज्वला कोटि चंद्रानिने वदन उज्ज्वला गलदे सेवनमाला कोरे जलमाला गलदे सेवनमाला कोरे जलमाला शिवा शिवा शुकनारदा प्रेमे गदा गदा शुकनारदा प्रेमे गदा गदा शिवा शिवा शुकनारदा प्रेमे गदा गदा शिवा शुकनारदा प्रेमे गदा गदा भक्ति विनोदा देखे गौरार संपादा भक्ति विनोदा देखे गौरार संपादा जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौरा भक्तवृंद श्री प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौरा भक्तवृंद जय श्री प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Rama Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Rama Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Jaya 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 Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev. Gurudev, Gurudev, Jaya Jaya Gurudev. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol.
Jai Om Vishnupad, Paramahamsa Brivrajagacharya, Stotra Satya Shri Srimad His Divine Grace Shri A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki. Jai Om Vishnupad, Paramahamsa Brivrajagacharya, Stotra Satya Shri Srimad His Divine Grace Shri Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Ki. Ananta Koti Vaishnavrinda Ki. Namacharya Shri Haridas Thakur Ki. Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gauda Bhakta Vrinda Ki. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shama Kunda Radha Kund Giri Govardhana Ki. Shri Vrindavan Dhama Ki. Shri Navadvip Dhama Ki. Kalachanji Dhama Ki. Gangamai Ki. Jamunamai Ki. Bhakti Devi Ki. Tulsi Maharani Ki. Harinam Sankirtan Ki. Brihat Mridanga Ki. Prasadam Distribution Ki. Samaveda Bhakta Vrinda Ki. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Sri Guru Gauranga. Radha Kalachanji Bhagavan Ki.
Namaste Narasimhaya. Namaste Narasimhaya. Prahlad Daine. Hiranyakashipurvakshaha. Shilatankanakalahe. Ito Narsimha Parato Narsimho. Yato yato yami tato Narsimha. Bahe Narsimho Hridaye Narsimho. Narasimhamadem Sharanam Prapade. Tavakar Kamalavare Nakha Adbhuta Shringam Dalita Hiranyakashipu Tanu Bringam Keshavadrita Narahari Rupa Jai Jagadisha Hare. Jai Jagadisha Hare. Jayo जगदीश हरे तव कर कमल हरे अद्भुत श्रृंगार दलिता हिरण्यकशिपु तनुभृंगा केशवधृता नरहरिरूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जयो केशवधृता नरहरिरूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे केशवधृता नरहरिरूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जयो लक्ष्मी नरसिंहा जयो लक्ष्मी नरसिंहा जयो लक्ष्मी नरसिंहा जयो लक्ष्मी नरसिंहा जयो नरहरि जयो नरहरि जयो नरहरि जयो नरहरि जयो प्रहलाद महाराज जयो प्रहलाद महाराज जयो प्रहलाद महाराज जयो प्रहलाद महाराज नित्य गौरा हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल नित्य गौर हरि बोल नित्य गौरा हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल नित्य गौर हरि बोल श्री विघ्नविनाशक नरसिंहदेव भगवान की जय भक्त शिरोमणि प्रहलाद महाराज की जय श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे
Dallas?
एक किशोर
I'm applying for my green card.